Hi, I'm Jen Turrell, and you're about to watch a Mastering Money Matters weekly blab with the women from my Mastering Money Matters group. This is a small group for women who are freelancers, entrepreneurs, and small business owners where we discuss the specifics of the finances that apply to you. We talk about launch cycles, irregular income, quarterly estimated taxes, and other things that are a little different from your general W-2 employment situation. So if this applies to you, come on in and join the conversation.
And let's try Susan again now that we have headphones and everything.
Now that I still have feedback, I'll just keep hearing myself.
It's not too bad, I don't think.
No. Oh, you have. I have my own echo.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
I don't hear it too much, so hopefully it won't come through on the recording. Is it bothering you too much to talk?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's an exercise in focus and concentration, right?
That's true.
So, I started that's what I was saying. I started working one-on-one with people like 25, 26 years ago. Someone interviewed me recently and she said, when you were a child? I was like, yeah, no. But my work has really been an evolution. It started because I've always been very much of a woman's woman. Like, I love women. And when I started, it felt like there was so much shame. Is that clicking on you? Can you hear that?
I think it's Andrea.
I think it's, she's giving you the hand.
Kind of crazy. We'll just know we all gave each other high fives.
When I started, it was because I felt like there was so much shame around what women looked like. There was so much pressure to look a certain way, and that there was nowhere to hide. You know, it was about I couldn't be judged just by the way I'm seen, and so that's what got me into personal training. And I had been an actor, so I had kind of a different approach, having studied the body a lot. And I studied a technique called Alexander. Does anyone?
I've heard of it a little bit, yeah.
Alexander was a technique of unlearning in your body. So I kind of thought of talking about art. Like, if you're an actor and you have your own habits that are Susan habits, I felt like it was going to a canvas that already had a painting on it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that character already had my habits. It wasn't a neutral body. So Alexander's the technique of unlearning habits in the body to give you neutral alignment. Yeah. Because those are all stress patterns and holding patterns and constrictions in the body. So I introduced that, which was, partly a way of educating people. So it was like my technique evolved so that it was more engaging than just like moving an inanimate piece of steel around, which kind of, at some point wasn't that interesting. But I also found that women would have this thing, like, if I looked like, and they would, and it wouldn't be gratifying because it's never about that, right? There's other emotional stuff, or there's other baggage. So that took me more into life coaching. And then I had to deal with nutrition because that would affect you. Like, I know for myself, if I am aware and I'm not eating the way that feels good to me, I'll start to get kind of grumpy and, like, I'm just not getting the nutrition. My nervous system isn't. So then I added that, and then I did Reiki. I became a Reiki master. And it kind of evolved like that, where I actually grew up, my stepdad was a pharmacist who, when I was about like 8 or 9, went and studied homeopathy because he was like, this medication, they don't know what it does to you, you know, like, I think it was at that time that women were given, I forget what it's called, but they were given a drug to not miscarry, and that caused,
thalidomide.
Right.
Yeah, that was
so
horrible.
it was around that time, and that really influenced me, like how we could fragment pieces without the consciousness of like how one piece affects the other or longer term. So I got more interested in, you know, and I have to say, I grew up in a pretty crazy house, and I had to learn to like work with my brain because I have ADHD, and it's so it's a hyperactive brain, but it was a very hyperactive negative brain, which wasn't all that much fun. Like I had to really, for myself, come up with ways of how do I direct it and how can I focus it. And exercise was a good way to like drop in and connect into the body and start to get grounded. So all these pieces started to come in. And then I was working at a gym and I started to get really busy. And times like I would see a client upset about something and kind of suck it up, and like it would get pushed back into the muscle, you know, like
I agree.
Like,
I agree
don't
that
let it out because it's, you know, you're in a public place.
trauma and
like,
emotions get trapped at a cellular level.
Absolutely. Yeah. I studied bioenergetics and core energetics, which is a lot of what that is. Yeah. And so I started to feel like I want to create a safe place for them to come, where if you come and you're working out and energy starts to move and you're upset or you're mad or whatever comes up, it's a safe place to exorcise it. Like, don't push it down, exorcise it, get it out. And so that became part of the work. And so it's just been an evolution. And then I got to a point where I felt like what had for me, like 25 years ago, been so much, held so much shame for women, became more about money and being able to be fully self-supporting, or not being able to make ends meet, started to feel like that became a lot of where the shame was starting to go. And that's why I wanted to start working with women. Business coaching, having had my business for that, you know. So my biggest challenge is to like really be succinct and say what I and a lot of it is about like, where am I blocked, or why can't I move forward, or why do I move forward and don't move back? Like, I feel like I just have a radar for what's going on, and it's like Andrea was saying, just really creating safe space for that to be uncovered and worked through, so that we can get to what's our brilliance, what's our authenticity, what are our real gifts, who am I really, without all the imposition of who I was told to be and who I thought I should be, and, you know, all of that stuff. But like, who am I, so that I get to have this life that feels rich and engaging, and it's okay to be who I am. You know, that was a lot of my journey, was like really having to fight to get to a place of feeling comfortable in my skin and feeling okay about who I am. So I'm pretty passionate about all of that, you know, clearing that, making space, working through stuff, like, because it doesn't go away. I'm sorry?
I said that is hard to sum up in a sentence because you have so much, your experience is so long and you've studied so many things. So I agree.
And I still continue, you know, I'll still go and be like, I need to study that and that, you know. So, yeah. I love learning.
That's it. Learning. We always need to keep learning. And I think, you know, we're blessed because we are in this, you know, these groups with a bunch of really intelligent, you know, entrepreneur women that have the same sort of vision, while each vision is unique to each individual. Like, all in all, we are incredibly intelligent. We are curious. We want to keep learning. And I agree with you. It's important to get clear. That's why, you know, one of the objectives of this retreat is so people can get clear and focus on what their dream is, what their vision is, so that they can go after it. Because it's true. All too often, we've been bombarded with what we should be, what we shouldn't do, what we should do, and we don't even know anymore what it is that we want and what makes us happy. Yeah.
I have so many clients who are like, I don't even know what I like. Really, when I really come down, I don't even know anymore. Like, I'm so used to being a caregiver and being a caretaker and focusing on other people. Yeah.
That's where a lot of this, my work started when, you know, because when I'm doing the mixed media stuff, I tend to not like think about anything, you know, specifically. But then when I went to kind of shape it into, you know, something like this, like a workshop, or I had attended a few other similar workshops where there was some sort of prompts or questions. And, you know, I also journal quite a bit, you know, so I looked through those of, you know, what were the topics that I was journaling about. And it goes back to some of just the very simplest things. And like the one question that is often the hardest to really ask is like, what do you want?
On every level,
I must have
right?
stared at that question for just forever. And I mean, that's part of this of like, you know, you're physically doing something and then the answers kind of come to you. So it's not sometimes when you're posed with, you know, a question like that and you really don't know what the answer is, like straight out to, it's like sitting down. If I sit down and look at a worksheet of like some of the CCC work, you know, like that heavy mindset work where you're just looking at questions and like you freak out, you go blank. You don't know what those answers are right away. And my mixed media is a method, you know, similar to how you would do a yoga session or a meditation session, and then that awareness of what, you know, what comes into your head. And those are the answers usually.
Yeah, well, we want this to be a place where you can come and play and explore. There's no right answer, so it's use your imagination.
No, there's
there isn't, right?
Yeah, explore your creativity, and this is not like you're going to get it wrong if you start to make something in an art session, and you know, it's not like there's a correct answer. It's going to be all, you know, just play and fun, which we could all use a lot more play and fun.
It helps you get rid of the perfection part of things, especially because people stare at a blank page or they get, you know, even just the words art materials, or they feel it has to look a certain way. And it doesn't. All you have to do is get out the energy that's inside you to make a mess of the page, or, you know, and it might be beautiful, but you won't know until you get it out.
That's like life, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to let it all out, and it will just clear as you go along.
Yeah, and draw inspiration from what is around you, and really it comes from inside of you, but you do have to get clear. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is about clearing the static to what is your like real connection, like what is your spiritual connection, where does your refueling come from, or your North Star? What is it that you navigate to? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, someone's just trying. Like I won't work on one single piece or one single page at a time from like start to finish. I'll start, maybe it's 10 pages, or I'll start like 30 pages in a session and work with them, whatever pieces I pick up or whatever materials I pick up. And almost like you're playing with the puzzle, where the marks are going to go or where the pieces are going to fit. And, out of those 10 or 30, however many it is that you're doing, some of them are going to be completely ugly. And some of them are going to have like just awful bad ideas. But then a handful of them are really going to be beautiful or really speak to, some idea of, or focus, or, have just pique a really great idea. And that's what you stick with, that's what you go more with.
Yeah, well,
in that direction.
I've been saying, like one of the taglines for the retreat, or for what we're going to be offering, even not just for the retreat, but for other events, is be like nature. Nature does its own thing, be like nature. Just go with the flow. And there is, as I said, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just exploring and using your imagination and, heightening your creativity. There's also at the farm, I don't know if, I'm sure you guys have seen, but there's a beautiful foal that was born here a month ago. So yeah, and he's an inspiration for me, because he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He's doing his own thing, and he's got so much energy, and just being around him and the other animals, it's really it's a way to recharge, and just to watch them be free and play, and they're not caring they're not caring about what's going on online, or what they're offering or what they're selling. It's just, they are just out there being authentic and doing their own thing. So it's good to see that, so that we can understand, we can break out of, the norm that we have set for ourselves. There's bigger things out there. So, yeah.
So, Susan, what kind of techniques do you use with your clients?
I would say at this point, it's like I have that tool bag. We'll talk. I work incredibly intuitively. I think after doing it for so many years, there's just a level of trust. So we'll talk, and something will come up, and we'll go in that direction and explore it, and it will reveal something that is asking to be dealt with, asking to be cleared, asking to be accepted. Sometimes, I tend to work with women in their maybe 40s on, and then I have a bunch of under 25. It's interesting. Yeah. It's like that's who's, and so with both of them, it's either the younger women are really trying to, they all share that they have a passion to be of service and to make a difference, and they're kind of soulful. So how do I give, and what's my zone of genius? And sometimes it will be, we'll talk. Sometimes there'll be assignments, written assignments. Sometimes meditation or other practices. Writing's really helpful. Sometimes in the middle of session, I'll just say to somebody get up and jump up and down, because they're so tuned into a certain way of we get habits of thought. So it's like the brain just keeps going on that groove. This is the way I've answered this, so I'm going to keep answering it this way, which doesn't allow for all the rest, which to me is what the gold is, you know. So I'll be like, jump up and down, or like punch out, say yes, or, you know, and they're like, she's crazy. But, but then suddenly it's like they're back in this energy, and, you know, it's back down in the body, because the body won't lie, you know. And the subconscious will talk to us through our emotions. So when we stop judging, like, this is bad emotion, this is a good emotion, and we start to be able to tune into the message, we get kind of a navigation system. And I also work with NeuroLinguistic Programming. Anyone? No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I've heard the term, but I don't really know anything about it.
NLP, yeah.
NLP. If you know Tony Robbins, that's like the whole base of his work. That's why I've been to so many of his, because he's like really masterful. Like, I know what he's doing, and it's like, it's just beautiful. So NLP is a way of working directly with the subconscious. So you can, you know, Tony Robbins made his career because, like, there would be someone who had a phobia, and they were in therapy for like, and I'm not knocking therapy. I've been in therapy. But they've been in therapy working on this phobia for like 10 years. And he would announce, like, I'm going to this hotel room and I'm working with this person who has snake phobia. And, you know, in that same hour, the person would like take the snake and touch it. And then he followed up a year later, and it would get televised. He'd follow up 5 years later. That's how he built his career. It was like, whoa, who is this? What is he doing? You know? And that's NLP, yeah.
So, okay, neuro, obviously is brain. Linguistic is speaking.
Programming.
And the program, right. So is it him speaking to them in a certain way that reprograms their brain? Is that what it means? Or
no, it's not like some external, like, mind control.
I'm going to reach in your brain and take your phobia out.
Have you ever watched him and then suddenly, you see, we can get into trance. Like, you know, like if we're really good friends and I always kind of have the same story. I've known you for a long time. So I start to tell you, and it's almost like I put myself into trance because I'm not 100%, not questioning what I'm saying. I'm not reassessing it. I'm not fully present in the moment. So we walk a lot around in trance because those programs are running that were like set by the time we were 6. So if you've watched any of his stuff, people go, why does he curse like that? You know, because he's so out there, and he'll suddenly be like, you know, fuck, what did you say? And people are like, is that really necessary? And I hope that's okay. Otherwise you could just move. But the reason is because he's shocking them out and getting right through the subconscious. So it's a changing state.
Is that why he shouts and jumps around so much too?
No, that's really, no, a lot of that is like to stay in a high vibe, to keep you, because there's so much that can be cerebral that we can start to process everything in the head. But like that subconscious mind is such a limited part. So you've got to get the body moving and your energies, you know, at peak so that all of you is integrated. You don't start like being a talking head. That's why I like the name of that group. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Huh. So how do you use NLP in working with women?
I mean, many different techniques.
I just thought of one, Susan. I thought of one you did with me. Possibly. Maybe this is one you did with me. So we were talking once, and I forget exactly what we were talking about, but you were talking about how, Jen, I really like you and I want to be your friend, but can you not wear striped tops anymore? I don't like people who wear striped tops. And I was like, oh, and then you're like, and the bangs, like, I really don't like the short bangs. Can you grow your bangs out longer so we can be friends? And I was so confused by what you were doing. And but it made, once we talked about it, it made so much sense because you sensed how much of a people pleaser I am and how flexible I'm willing to be to other people's demands, partially because I am so trained as a special needs caregiver for my kids. And I grew up being a caregiver to a stepfather who had many surgeries in my childhood. Like, I've always been kind of at a moment's notice ready. If someone says, can you get something, I always jump up and get it. Like, I'm the first person to jump up at any family meal or anything to go get something for someone just because they asked, without thinking like, I'm in the middle of a story, I'm in the middle of
that's trance. It's a response without, it's pre-programmed. It's like, it's what I do.
Yeah. So was that NLP when you were asking me to do kind of ridiculous things in order to be your friend?
You just have to say, no, you're not my friend.
I don't think it was a conscious. I think it was
She's in
a way of saying, I think you're awesome as you are. Like, tell me to fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you said. You were like, Jen, why
hell no, I'm not going to stop doing that. And I'm not growing out my bangs. Like, you like me or you don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's definitely was that, I think that's what my gift is. And that was kind of with humor. But when working with clients, it's like my radar, I'll just go straight where that point is, where the most amount of freedom will erupt. Like, if that is a choice and not a must, then there's freedom, right? If you can sit at the table and somebody sit and you'd be like, you know what, I just don't feel like getting up today. There's freedom, right? Then you can say, if I feel like it, okay, I'm sure. But it's not because I'm compelled to.
Right, not automatically putting myself in the servant position for everybody else.
And I think that's so much what the messages we get as little girls, be nice, take care of everyone, share your things, don't be selfish,
We're nurturers,
We are, but I mean, we're also allowed to have a boundary, and it's okay to not want to, I was married and my husband was like, I don't like sharing my food, I like to order what I want, and I'm somebody who likes to taste it, It's like, I don't like it. It's so much harder for women together to just be like, no, I don't want you to put your fork on my plate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if we felt like that, it's so much harder than for a guy to just go, no. Permission, right? Yeah.
We're kind of enculturated in a different way from very young.
And freedom is my kind of word. Financial, personal, emotional, mental,
spiritual.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's me. I'm into the, helping people transform mind, body, and soul, which I think we all are, because I know you're very much into that, Susan.
Yeah.
It can't just be one. Like, we're working on your body, because you are more than your physical external body. Yeah.
There's no way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I learned all that time ago was it's crazy to fragment. We're trying to kind of become whole, not to hold on to those fragments. Like, it freaks me out. Someone will say, this doctor gave me this medication. This doctor gave me this medication. They don't even know. Like what the ramifications of those two medications in the same body. Like, there's no communication. I think it's crazy.
Every day it happens.
It's crazy though.
Yeah. I mean, I think here in the United States, having accidental overdoses of prescribed medicine is, I think we're higher than anywhere. Partially because we don't have a national system that every doctor I go to has to have all my information anew because they can't access my other, I went and had knee surgery and they couldn't access my other doctor's thing. And you go and I had a GI scan once and they don't have any information from my other doctors. And it is very fragmented. It's true.
Yeah. I love my Heart and Hustle group. So for any women, I love that group. It just feels like it just feels heartfelt, like there's care in there.
You're up very late, Susan. You keep very late hours.
You do. I'm amazed how late you are at.
Do you know
your little videos?
I was up till 5 a.m. last night. And since, I don't know if you guys remember when I got the flu, I'd started going to sleep earlier because it knocked me out. And the last 3 days, I went to sleep 1, then the next night was 2, and last night was 5 a.m. I was like, and I was still up at 8. I know.
So how much sleep do you usually get total, Susan?
How much what?
How much total sleep do you usually get?
Is that it?
What did I get last night? Last night
I noticed because I'm off.
6, 7, 8. I got like just
3,
over 3 hours.
Maybe.
That's not very much. I need a lot.
I'm like a naughty kid. It's not. I genuinely just really wasn't tired. It's like,
she's a lot of energy. Yeah.
Well, I know before having a family, before having kids and husband, I used to definitely like to stay up later rather than get up earlier. Like my senior year of college, I kind of flipped my schedule because I was writing my thesis. So I would, I'd have dinner and then work through the night to my 8 a.m. class. And I hardly had any classes because I really overloaded early on. So I do my dinner, do my 8 a.m. class, and then I go to bed. And then I'd get up in the afternoon. I think I only had one scheduled class or something second semester of my senior year. So I was kind of being a vampire, but it let me write at night when everyone else was quiet. It was nice.
See, that's what I was up doing. That I don't know if you saw that post on the subconscious. So I was like, I know I need to do it, and I hadn't had time. So then it was like, okay, I got to,
That's why we're having the retreat, so people can get some self-care and relaxation and some clearing time. Because, as entrepreneurs and being online, we're hard and we're hustling, but, sometimes we need to take a break. Yeah.
I can use a break. I definitely, though, am one of those people who, I have to have time out to myself.
Yeah.
I can put out a lot in terms of working one-on-one, but I have to.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate here, being on the farm in the country, that even when I'm doing farm work, I get that connection to nature. And
I got my garden.
Yeah, well, you're lucky.
I started cleaning it up on the weekend.
Well, don't you love that connection to the earth and
I can't tell you about having a garden in New York City.
Yeah.
And birds and flowers and a tree and umbrella. And
well, that's what it is for me. I'll look up and I'll see a hawk and I'm like, oh, look at how that hawk is just gliding along. And do you think the hawk is, the hawk isn't thinking about, what they're posting on social media next. And the butterfly isn't worrying about what flower it's going to land on next or if it's making the right decision. That's why I say be like nature. Nature does its own thing,
It's true.
Yeah. But you're very fortunate
I think
to
it's
have
amazing though. I'm like a block from Central Park, and I just said this to a client yesterday. Like, out of the 3 and whatever, and by 5 miles that Manhattan Island is, that they have, maybe 2 mile stretch of Central Park. for prime real estate, the fact that they've never sold out is really, you know,
well, that's what I said. New York City is an amazing place to visit, and it's very close to, you know, it's a train ride, about an hour and a half on the train from where we're located.
Send them here, take them on a tour.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If someone wants to come, that's going to be, you know, out of state or out of the country.
They should definitely include it. Absolutely.
Yeah, because that would be an incredible experience. New York City and the country. Yeah, so close to New York. I mean, that's why I love living here, because Shelley knows she just went to an event in New York City.
It's so easy to hop on the train.
Next time you come, please call me.
Okay.
You can go hang out in Central Park.
Yeah.
And you're more than welcome to come up here.
Thank you. I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, the train ride itself is beautiful because
I have a car.
Yeah, I know, but if people have to take the train,
coming up the Hudson line is so pretty.
It's because what it used to be is all the wealthy robber barons and the people who had money that lived in New York City. Their country houses were up here in the Hudson Valley. You know, we're not far from Franklin Roosevelt's estate, and because they all just, you know, it's straight up the Hudson, and it's really peaceful and relaxing.
She sells this place like I want to be there. I'm like,
way to go.
Well, you know what? For me, it's like it's just the most beautiful place, and I love the city. You know, New York City to me is the capital of the world, because if you cannot get it in New York City, you probably can't get it anywhere. You know, it's like you can get everything that is located anywhere in the world. You can probably buy it in New York City.
That's a part of staying up, though. Like I can be in the back of my
there you
house.
go. Yeah, that's
quiet,
what it is.
but I know I can just walk out the front door.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. Jen, you hold a beautiful space as well, Jen.
Oh,
so thank you. Yeah.
Jen's awesome.
Check out Jen.
Even though she didn't grow her bangs out.
Yeah, I didn't grow my bangs out. Oh, I didn't wear a striped shirt today, but I don't.
We're such people pleasers. We wore the similar necklaces.
I think that's great.
Yeah. Do you wear that all the time, Jen? Or?
Actually, so that leather piece that you have on your eventually perished because, you know, I was wearing it all the time.
Yeah.
So I had Natasha Wozniak in New York made this for me because I said I really want something.
It's really pretty.
You know, it's such a heavy piece that if I had it on a regular chain, it just goes in a V. And I was like, I'd kind of like a collar of some kind. So she made that for me. And I just got it back last week. And I've been thinking about it. I didn't have it for several months. And I've had incredibly terrible luck. Like that trip to England that we took, everything went wrong. Luggage lost, delayed flights, you know, overnight in a weird hotel without my daughter's feeding stuff and everything. So I'm happy now that I have it back. I feel like my luck is changing. I feel like things are
quick word about that. Like any one of these days, like 5 planets together going, I don't know
retrograde.
Which day.
Yeah.
They all 5 going retrograde.
I think it's the 28th is Mercury.
To really focus on self-care, not what the world needs, but what you need.
Yeah, well, I've been ill for weeks. I mean, I've just really struggled to kick this viral stomach flu that I've had. I've lost 16 pounds since I got back from England.
Not the way to diet.
No,
it's not the way to do it. It was just that I kept being so nauseous and kind of vomiting, and then nothing seemed.
Did you get the ginger?
I didn't get the ginger yet. I'll go get the ginger. But I ended up just
the fresh root, if you can find it.
Or kombucha or some kind of probiotics.
That's to feed it, but just for the nausea.
Yeah, my battery's going. But
okay.
I'm good, but if I click out, just you'll know.
Okay. Well, we've gone past our hour, and it was great to talk to you all. I feel like
and if anybody has any questions, you know, just look at the link.
The retreat sounds awesome.
Yeah, it will be. As I said, we're going to do more and some daytime things. So please, you know, connect with us, and
I'd love that.
We'd love to actually
come up. We'll meet.
Yeah, you know what? We would love to have you come up here. You can come and run some of what you do here as well. But yeah, I love to make real connections in person. Sometimes you can't online because the people are in other countries, and I love the fact that we can connect like this, but real connections, as you said,
There's
the
nothing
energy.
like giving someone a hug, right? It's
yeah.
like,
And we hope to form like real bonds that carry over way past this. So, yeah.
oh, that gave me chills. That's what it's
Yeah.
about, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Real connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And real connection to yourself. Because as you said, we are sometimes so unconnected from what our core values are and what we really want. So, yeah. So it's all good.
It is all good.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Have a beautiful day.
Bye, everyone.
If you want to find out more about joining Mastering Money Matters yourself, go to my website, jenturrell.com, and click on the Mastering Money Matters button in the navigation bar.
And think and really find your purpose. So as I said, if it's anybody who's in business or an entrepreneur, it will give you some clarity and